Now is the time in our service where we're reminded that we are more than just the sums of our parts. It's the moment where we reach out and where I like to think we touch love in its highest form. Today we have an opportunity, an invitation to focus on our impacts on one another within this amazing community and our faith tradition. Today, I'm hoping those of you here in this room and those of us joining virtually will be up for a little chat with your neighbor. It's a different kind of meditation. But before we begin, I would like to take a moment and reflect on what we mean, or what could be meant, by the phrase covenantal community. Regardless of my opinion of this phrase, or on the concept of covenant or its origins, there's no mistaking that our faith tradition historically rejected creeds and adopted the practice of being in covenant within our individual congregations and across our association as a whole. This is part of our tradition's historical fact. At its core, covenants are relational and require mutual agreement on ties that bind us. They are also tenuous and require constant maintenance and work. As the Islamic poet Rumi reminds us, they are broken again and again, and still we return. Over the past months, I personally have witnessed this community practice the tenuous and often exhausting practice of breaking covenant and then returning real time to an expansive state of love. It is present when we disagree on theology, but still find ways to remain together in our physical and our virtual spaces. I have seen it when the topic of accountability and racial equity are discussed, and yet we remain in our physical and virtual spaces. I have seen it when our LGBTQ and Black, Indigenous, and POC are harmed when experiencing microaggressions in our various spaces, and yet they still return. We break our promises to each other time and time again, and yet we still remain. And for many of us who may not identify as marginalized in one way or another, I recognize that it is especially a gracious gift that I would do well not to forget the fact that so many others remain. Covenants are optional. It is our covenant that provides us the ability to hold multiple experiences and truths together. I believe this is the superpower of Unitarian Universalism. So today, I would like to invite us into a contemplative state of reflection by resting comfortably in whatever position you feel best calms your spirit. I welcome us all to take a deep breath in through our nose, holding it for just a second or two, and then exhaling through our mouths. Let's do that one more time. Deep in through the nose, hold for a second, and out through the mouth. Now, in this relaxed space, I'm asking us all to think about a time that you have seen our community showing up for others, or perhaps even for yourself, and really focus on what that experience has meant to you. Now I invite us back into our physical or our virtual online chat room. And at this time, I want to offer a moment for you to turn to your neighbor, preferably someone that maybe you did not come with, but not necessarily, and share your reaction to that reflection of community that you have just experienced. We'll take a minute or two, so feel free to talk, and then we'll come back together at the sounding of the chime. Community is a fickle and complex entity. Let us take these experiences of community and maybe learn from them. May we grow to be more loving and more welcoming. May more of us have the transformational experience of being cared for and caring for others. It is my fervent hope that MDUUC continues to thrive as a community. I know that we can continue to plant the seeds of joy as we care for those in our midst and our larger county, state, country, and world. As we continue to emphasize the practice of loving and being loved, holding and being held, knowing each other and being known authentically. May all of these things and more come together to create inside each of us and in our community a fountain of pleasure that makes this world turn from harm and embrace a soul-nourishing spring of joy.